This program on investing under regulation crowdfunding is not investment advice.
Rising with the crowd, power unbound, change makers lead where hope is found. Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercrow stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Have you ever wondered if there must be some way to help finance good, clean energy projects in the face of some of the federal budget cuts in this direction? Well, today we're going to talk about that exactly. And there is an opportunity for you to participate and profit from the solution. So stick around. You don't want to miss this episode. Now, welcome to the Super Crowd Presents Superpowers for Good. And I'm your host, Devin Thorpe. And my guest today is a returning guest. I think he's been on, this is his third or fourth time over the many years that he's been working on this amazing wind turbine project, Flower Turbines. So please help me welcome Daniel Farr back to the show.
Hi, thank you. Devin, it's been a pleasure because you've kind of been with me on my journey.
Yeah. You know, we first connected, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago, and you're still going. You've raised over the years, I think I read the other day, you've raised $17 million. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just tremendous amounts of money. And so I saw this go from a conceptual design, lab work that you were doing around these small wind turbines, and now you're deploying them all around. And it's just really amazing, remarkable progress. I'm going to just put up on the screen here a little video so people can see what we're talking about. But they're these beautiful little wind turbines that can be deployed in urban environments, residential environments. They don't have to be out in a Wyoming prairie to be deployed, right?
Right. Although we're glad to do them on a small level, but as we'll talk about, the biggest application for them is on a large scale.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the large scale application. That's intriguing.
So one of the key technologies that we've patented, and it's really the key to doing projects, is what we call the bouquet effect because of the tulips, or the cluster effect. What it means is that each turbine that you add to a group makes the whole group perform better. So if you have 2 turbines, they perform 50% better than if you had 2 separate ones. If you have 3 turbines, 75% better. 4 turbines, it's double the amount of power. In other words, putting 4 turbines together in the right way, in relationship to the wind direction and the right distance and all that kind of thing, it's like doubling the amount of power that you can get. So it's a very powerful effect. And this is the key to what we're doing now, which is to make projects that are big enough to take full advantage of this, because that's really our key to being cost effective, even independent of subsidies. And that's a key thing because subsidies are going to run out in 2 years. Now, we're glad to take advantage of them while they're there, but they're going to be running out. And there's a chance right now to take advantage of the subsidies that are there, but also to be part of a technology that is meant to work without subsidies.
Yeah, this is really an exciting stage of development because we're no longer talking about could this work? How does this work? We're talking about where it works, when it works, and scaling up projects. That is really an exciting milestone. And now you're raising money on, you're on Honeycomb Credit, which is really an interesting place. You've raised money on a variety of different portals. Tell us about your experience so far on Honeycomb Credit. It looks to me like you're having some success raising money there.
Well, we've raised $250,000 in less than a week. So on Honeycomb. So to give you a little bit of the story, we've been working with Start Engine all along for our equity raise. But one of the things that attracted me to Honeycomb is that they have experience in doing dividends. And I wanted to create a separate company. We manage it, but it's a separate company that provides dividends for investors from projects. Now, it's good for us because one of the things that's been holding us back from really big projects, or at least bigger projects, is being able to get financing for it. When we have financing for it, we can offer it to the customer or the location at a discount. We give them what's called a PPA, which is basically a contract to provide them with electricity, but we place the turbines there. And somebody can invest in that. It's like a projects company. On a big scale, it's like something like Invenergy or uh, uh, Gamesa before it became part of Iberdrola. And excuse me, I think Iberdrola, it's a big Spanish company that did projects. So you invest in a project with something tangible, you get dividends and maybe capital gains from it. And the way it helps us is that it helps us make bigger projects. We've had a lot of people that want to buy one or two or three. It's like if you want to go swimming, do you dip your toe in the water or do you plunge in? Right? So there are a lot of people who want to put their toes into the water. Um, but to really get the full benefit of this technology, you need to get 5, 10, or more turbines working together in one location so that they enhance each other with this bouquet effect. So this enables us to scale up a bit. And because they become more cost effective the more you put together, it enables dividends for investors. And we're hoping to get them a good return on their investment.
That's wonderful. And it is exciting to see how you're scaling this up, Daniel. Tell us a little bit about the lessons you've learned from raising capital over all these years, mostly, but largely, at least including from crowdfunding, but several offerings over the years. What have you learned?
So I first have to say that I'm really grateful that there are enough people around that crowdfunding enables us to reach that are willing to put their money into a technology and have the patience to wait it out until it really gets into the market. So I've been using this to develop patents. We have over 30 patents now. It's very expensive. And we've been doing a lot of design work so that now we have um, really a product line, different sizes, uh, different types of turbines. We have aluminum blades, we have uh, thermoplastic blades. We have some products that come out of it. For example, one thing that sells very well in Europe is e-bike charging station using wind and solar, using our wind and regular solar panels and a battery. So we've been able to develop this, and now we're really ready to implement it on a larger scale. And this is something that, again, is mutually beneficial, helps us grow through having a separate projects company that's just there to make projects. That those people who feel that they want a return in the near future and they want something that's a little bit less risky than going straight into technology development. Although, of course, the biggest upside is from the technology development. But this provides a nice balance. Um, most of the startup funding that you see is pure equity, it doesn't have dividends. So this is not a first, but it's close to a first. But it's definitely a first in terms of small win. You cannot find any other place where you can invest in small wind projects. And that's because we have these patents, like the cluster effect. The patent for that is already granted in the United States, Europe, China, and Brazil. And there are other patents that relate to that as well in a little more indirect ways. So we've got quite a patent portfolio just with that one aspect. There are other things that have to do with how we make the turbine itself more efficient and electronics. We're moving into electronics as well. But this part is the key. And um, this just lets us go a step farther. And it's something new. There is such a thing as community solar where people can invest in solar projects. But this is the first time that it's available for wind. So we're doing something new. We've been doing regular crowdfunding like everyone else does. But now this is new. This is project.
Yeah,
And
this is
if I can say one other thing, people
please.
may ask, um, well, can you compete with the cost effectiveness of the big wind turbine? And the answer is no. But at the point at which you use it, the electricity is much more expensive. So right now I'm sitting here in Long Island where the cost of electricity is around 25 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, uh, wind turbines in upstate New York might be producing energy and selling it to the utility at 3 cents, 4 cents per kilowatt hour. But by the time it gets to me, the electricity is much more expensive. So what we're doing is we're reducing the cost of electricity at the point of use.
Yeah, it is very much like solar panels being deployed at the point of use, right? It's the same kind
Right.
of idea, right?
Right, exactly. And it's actually the same kind of growth model. Solar didn't take off in the United States until it had bank financing and um, they could come to people and say, we will finance your putting the solar panels on your roof. I want to do that with wind, but we're too early stage for bank financing. So this is an in-between time where we're getting the crowd to provide and profit from that financing. And so that hopefully we'll get to that point ourselves soon. Um, but I don't think we'll stop this because I think this is a great opportunity to democratize the way that project financing is done. If you're J.P. Morgan, Citibank, uh, something like that, you can get in on these big wind projects. But I can't. You can, unless you buy shares in Citibank. But they do a lot of other things too. But project investing is has an established niche as being a high dividend type of investing that is more secure than a stock because you actually have an asset, or it could be more secure.
Yeah.
I have to say could be, would be, because the SEC might come after us for saying something definite. But the aim of it is to make uh, not only to help us lift off to a different level and provide green energy and more profits for everybody, but also to democratize it.
Yeah, this is great. Let me point out for our viewing audience, viewers, the you can learn more about investing in Daniel's deal right now at s4g.biz/flower. It's on the screen there, s4g.biz/flower. And when you visit that, you'll be able to get all of the details to understand how this particular deal is structured and the way this project finance works. The SEC limits our ability to chat about that today, but all the details are right there on the web, so you don't have to, struggle. If you have any questions, I'm sure there are folks at Honeycomb Credit and on Daniel and his team that would answer them. So I encourage you to check it out and learn more today about how you can earn money with clean energy. Now, Daniel, we got to take a quick break. Forgive me, but we'll be right back. Yeah, folks, I'm here today with Daniel Farb. He's the CEO and founder of Flower Turbines. Amazing technology, building these tulip-shaped wind turbines. Amazing stuff. When we come back after the break, we're going to talk to him about his superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.
Download a free copy of How to Make Money with Impact Crowdfunding, the book Sarah Hanks describes as
a fantastic overview, not just of crowdfunding investing, but of investing in general.
Andrew Savickas raved,
"This book offers unparalleled insights for anyone looking to make a difference."
Scan the QR code to get your copy.
Struggling to raise capital for your business? Unlock the power of the crowd with AI. My free guide, Crowdfunding Made Simple, walks you through every step to success. Get funded smarter, faster. Scan the QR code now for your free download. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited to have with us today Daniel Farb, CEO and founder of Flower Turbines. It's an amazing clean energy company that's making smallish wind turbines and amazing, amazing stuff. We're going to shift gears now to talk to Daniel about his superpower. So stick around. Daniel, you know, I look back at what you've accomplished in the face of tremendous challenges, really creating a whole new niche of clean energy. There are others following in your footsteps, building small wind turbines, but you really are the leader in this space, and you've raised the most capital, made the most progress. You're deploying these. What is your superpower?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't wear my Superman outfit for the show, but I was thinking about that question, and I would say two. One is that I think I have a God-given talent that I'm good on both the right side of the brain and the left side. Is that I'm good at verbal things, communication, etc. And I'm also good at science, mathematics, and other kinds of things. And I think that ability to have both and kind of fuse them uh, gives me maybe a special perspective on problem solving and trying to uh, understand what I can do that other people have missed. So I'd say that's one thing. But I'd say maybe the one thing I have that everybody has access to is persistence. If I believe in something, I'll do it. And I believe in this, and I've been doing it. And just to give you like a little example of what it was like towards the beginning of this particular journey, back around, I started crowdfunding around 2018. And, we'd get a couple of $1,000s a week, uh, you know, and I was trying to expand. And sometimes I'd authorize getting a piece of inventory or something. And I didn't know if it would last till the next week, but somehow um, enough money came in for me to continue making choices to go forward. So it was a little nerve wracking, but I think maybe it's not just persistence, also faith to some extent. But you have to be able to ride out those tough times, and everybody in life is going to have their tough times. But to write it out, and if you believe in it, not give up. If it's something that's not worth believing in, then it's a better idea to give it up. But if you believe in it and you believe you have something of value that's eventually going to shine through, I think persistence is the main thing. And you too, it's the same kind of thing. You've been showcasing um, people who are trying to do something good with their lives for a while. And I'm sure you also have persistence of something.
Yes, I sometimes describe my superpower as persistence, and certainly recognize that there's a a good side and a bad side to that, in that I persist in doing things I believe in, but I'm not always sure they're the smart things to do. But I'm very persistent in doing them. But
Yeah,
Daniel, you've got this amazing superpower, of persistence. I think there are some aspects of that that are innate, but I think there are also aspects of that that are learned. I wonder if you were thinking about how to coach someone on being more resilient, if you would, how you would coach them to be a little more resilient.
well, let's break it down two things. One is resilient, the other is persistent. It's not always the same. Um, I would say persistence, I think it has to do somewhat with developing self discipline, uh, academically, sports. I was on the rowing team for 1 year in college, and when I was training, I also love the outdoors. I love mountain climbing and things like that. And I I wouldn't when I was like high school, but I still sort of do it now. My neighbors notice that sometimes is that I will fill a backpack full of rocks or water bottles and walk up and down hills as a kind of training. So, but it's interesting. Something like that can carry over from one field to another. So, I think that anything that you do that develops self-discipline, uh, persistence, and trying to reach a goal is going to help you develop a certain frame of mind that is going to help you anyway. But now getting back to the flexibility, I'm not sure. Sometimes flexibility doesn't go together, with persistence, or sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. So uh, I guess this is an example of flexibility that instead of continuing doing the usual technology fundraising, we're switching a little bit, at least temporarily, to doing project type fundraising, because that's what we need now. Is we need uh, to get the product on the market, make projects with it, and really expand where it's going to be. Sometimes some of the investors have criticized me, saying, Dr. Farb, stop getting all these patents and start selling. Well, they have a point. But on the other hand, if we didn't have, for example, these cluster patents, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing securely with no competition. And the same in many other ways uh, in terms of the patent portfolio that um, we've been developing. So I hope that answers your question for both flexibility and and persistence.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Um, as we wrap up now, I wonder if you would just take a minute and tell people how they can learn more about Flower Turbines, how they can learn more about investing, how they can connect with you personally. I know investors oftentimes want to talk to you before they make an investment. Is there a way for them to do that? Walk us through all those details.
Sure. Well, so they can go to our website, which is www.flowerturbines.com, and they can also go to the uh, site on where we're funding right now on Honeycomb Credit. It's a long URL, so I won't spell it out. But look for Flower Turbines Project Series 1. Series 1 because we hope to make a lot of series of these projects. So in terms of me personally, I'm going to tear my hair out if everyone starts writing me personally. Some people have gotten hold of my personal email. It's okay. They've usually been very polite and asked intelligent questions. Uh, but the best way is that platforms like Honeycomb or Start Engine have a way of making a question, and it's open to everybody, and then I answer them publicly there. If you have something that you feel can't be handled except privately, um, like my crazy aunt wants to invest in, your turbines, but she's, a billionaire, doesn't want people to know, keep it private. What should she do? Whatever it is, just send it to support.us@flowerturbines.com.
Fantastic. Well, again, Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. We want to wish you every success in the great work that you're doing to transition all of our energy use from fossil fuels to nice, clean energy, these fuel-free sources like wind and solar. So thank you. And again, we wish you every success.
Thank you. Nice to see you again, Devin.
All righty now. Let's do some good.